The story begins in 1963, a time when tensions are high following the end of World War II. Germany has been divided into two parts, one controlled by the West and the other by the Soviet Union. Napoleon, a highly equipped CIA agent, enters the Soviet-controlled side of Germany, where he meets a young woman named Gabby. He tells her that her father is still alive. Hearing this, she is shocked.
Okay, Mr. Important Suit.
Let me chat about your father.
I don't have a father.
As she has not seen her father for the past 18 years, she initially believes that Napoleon is lying and questions how he knows anything about her father. Napoleon explains that her father was one of the most brilliant scientists working for the Nazis. After the war ended, he was forced to work for another side, but one day he mysteriously disappeared, leading everyone to believe that he was dead. Recently, however, he has been spotted in Paris, and it is suspected that he is being forced to build a dangerous weapon. Napoleon tells Gabby that they need her help to save him. He warns that if she refuses, her father may soon be killed. He also insists that she must come with him immediately, as the Russians will arrive any moment. To convince her, he asks her to look outside.
I'm here to help him. Why don't you help me, eh? I don't. Less now. Or
When Gabby looks outside, she sees a man approaching, which frightens her. Napoleon urges her to follow his instructions and quickly drives away with her. Meanwhile, another car begins chasing them. The pursuer opens fire, but Napoleon's car is bulletproof, allowing them to escape unharmed. Napoleon instructs Gabby to stay calm and follow his lead as they try to evade capture. The chase intensifies as the pursuer continues following them. Eventually, the attacking car crashes, but the man survives. It is revealed that his name is Ilya, a KGB agent who has been assigned to capture Napoleon. The story then briefly explores Napoleon's past. During the war, he served in the American Army, but after the war ended, he turned to illegal activities, selling stolen goods on the black market. His skills made him an exceptional thief, and he became involved in major heists. Despite his expertise, he was eventually captured by authorities from multiple countries and faced legal action. Recognizing his unique abilities, the authorities concluded that he could be more useful as an agent rather than a criminal. As a result, he was recruited into the CIA, where he now works. Back in the present, Napoleon and Gabby continue their escape. After driving some distance, Napoleon realizes that Ilya is still chasing them. Thinking quickly, he comes up with a clever plan and instructs Gabby to keep driving without hesitation. She grows anxious and asks if they will be caught, but Napoleon reassures her and tells her to trust him. Soon, their car gets trapped, making the situation even more tense. Gabby fears that they are about to be captured. At that moment, Napoleon calmly rolls down the car window and tells her to follow him. He then leads her into a nearby building, guiding her through it as they attempt to escape through the other side. On the other side, the CIA is already waiting. From an elevated position, agents open fire and create a distraction, allowing Napoleon and Gabby to move towards safety. During the escape, Ilya is attacked and ends up hanging from above. The next morning, both agents are summoned to a weapons facility. When Napoleon arrives, he finds Ilya there, and the two immediately begin arguing and fighting due to their mutual dislike. Their confrontation continues until a KGB officer intervenes and stops them. They are then briefed about a critical development. A missing German scientist, Gabby's father, has recently been spotted in Italy. It is believed that he is being forced to develop a nuclear weapon. The formula he possesses is extremely dangerous, as it could enable the creation of powerful bombs. The scientist is being held by a criminal organization led by a man, Alexander, and his ambitious wife, Victoria Vinciguerra, who is actually running the operation. Both the CIA and KGB agree that the formula must not fall into the wrong hands, as it could lead to global destruction. Therefore, Napoleon and Ilya Kuryakin are ordered to work together despite their differences.
You, Solo, are to investigate Victoria, and Russian friend will focus on Miss Teller and her Uncle Rudy.
And to retrieve Dr. Taylor and his research.
Their mission is to locate the scientist, recover the formula, and stop the criminals. To execute the plan, Ilya and Gabby are instructed to pose as an engaged couple so they can get close to her father. Meanwhile, Napoleon Solo will approach Victoria and her husband by posing as an art dealer. After the briefing, the officers leave, and Napoleon and Ilya continue exchanging insults, revealing their deep mistrust and dislike for each other.
Your corrupt and criminal background.
Do wonder if it was your father's shame that gave you such drive, though.
Napoleon later explains the plan to Gabi, telling her that she must pretend to be Ilya's fiancé. She initially becomes angry and refuses, but Napoleon convinces her by emphasizing the importance of the mission and the global danger at stake. Eventually, she agrees. They soon travel to Italy, though Napoleon and Ilya continue arguing along the way. Upon arrival, they suspect that they are being followed. When Ilya and Gabi step outside, Napoleon warns Ilya that someone may be watching them and that he should act carefully. He advises him to cooperate if confronted and avoid trying to act like a hero.
You're being followed.
I know.
Give him your wallet and act scared.
Scared.
I think you should do as he says.
Ilya dismisses the advice and walks away. Shortly after, Ilya encounters men who threaten him with a knife and demand his belongings. They ask for his watch and also take Gabi's engagement ring. Gabi hands over the ring, but Ilya refuses to give up his watch, which leads to the men insulting him. Gabi urges him to stay calm, and he reluctantly gives up the watch. As the situation escalates, Ilya loses his temper and slaps one of the men, but the other pulls out a gun, forcing him to stop. The robbers then leave. Napoleon arrives shortly after and sarcastically remarks that Ilya must have handled the situation well. Ilya, clearly upset, reveals that the watch belonged to his father. After this, he walks away in frustration. Soon, they reach their destination. Napoleon checks into his room and begins interacting with the staff, subtly manipulating situations to gather information. Meanwhile, Gabi continues to provoke Ilya, teasing and irritating him. After drinking too much alcohol, she becomes even more unpredictable and starts arguing with him. Their argument escalates into a physical scuffle, and in the heat of the moment, she almost kisses him before falling asleep. The next morning, Napoleon wakes up after spending the night with a waitress. As he searches his room, he discovers hidden recording devices, realizing that someone has been spying on him. He collects the evidence and goes to Ilya, informing him that the recordings are in Russian, suggesting KGB involvement. Ilya realizes that microphones have been planted in his room as well, and soon it becomes clear that both he and Napoleon had secretly bugged each other's rooms. However, there is no time to dwell on this, as they must attend an important party hosted by the enemy. At the party, Napoleon is stopped by security when he fails to show an invitation card. One of the guards slaps him, causing him to fall. At that moment, Victoria Vinciguerra appears. Napoleon quickly produces the invitation, and the situation is diffused. Meanwhile, Ilya and Gabi meet Gabi's uncle in the party. Ilya clearly dislikes his behavior, especially because he keeps mocking the Russians. On the other hand, Napoleon focuses on his mission and begins getting closer to Victoria. To impress her, he demonstrates his sleight of hand skills by stealing a bracelet and then returning it to her, making it seem like a charming trick. He further impresses her by sharing stories of his past encounters, presenting himself as an art collector rather than a thief.
Gaps in important collections.
Victoria becomes intrigued and starts trusting him. Victoria then takes Napoleon to meet her associates. Shortly after, Victoria's husband arrives in his racing car, and in the meantime, Gabi questions her uncle about her father, but he claims to know nothing. By now, Victoria is clearly impressed by Napoleon and invites him to her office the next day. Later, back at the hotel, Ilya shows Napoleon some photographs and explains that they reveal Victoria's connection to radioactive material. This suggests that she has recently been near a nuclear device, confirming their suspicions.
To gamma radiation. These blurred lines here, radioactive material in last 24 hours. We need to move quicker.
With this information, Napoleon heads toward Victoria's location to investigate further. As he is about to enter, he spots Ilya nearby. The two silently coordinate and manage to get inside together. Once inside, they search the place but initially find nothing. Then Ilya notices a guard wearing his stolen watch. He knocks the guard unconscious, only to realize that the watch is not actually his. While searching further, they discover a hidden mechanism, a button that opens a secret passage. They descend into an underground area where they find a large vault. Napoleon attempts to open it, while Ilya warns that it may be dangerous. As soon as the vault is opened, an alarm is triggered. Guards rush toward the location, forcing both agents to retreat quickly. They attempt to search inside the vault but find nothing useful. As they escape, they come under heavy gunfire.
I am not staying here! Where are you gonna go?
Ilya jumps first and shouts for Napoleon to follow. Napoleon grabs a piece of wood and leaps after him. The two escape using a speedboat while being chased and shot at. During the chaos, Napoleon falls into the water, but Ilya does not realize this and continues moving forward. Napoleon eventually reaches the shore and climbs into a passing truck. Inside, he finds food and wine, and he casually begins enjoying himself, showing his carefree attitude even in dangerous situations. From a distance, he watches Ilya struggling to evade gunfire. Eventually, Ilya's boat is destroyed, leaving him stranded in the water. Then Napoleon finally decides to help him. Back at the base, Alexander discovers that the vault has been broken into. Realizing that intruders have infiltrated their facility, he immediately contacts Victoria and informs her of the situation. Victoria becomes suspicious of Napoleon and attempts to call him, but he does not answer. She then heads to the hotel with her men. By the time she arrives, Napoleon and Ilya have already returned to their rooms. As Victoria collects the room keys from reception and approaches Napoleon's room. To her surprise, she sees Napoleon stepping out of the bathroom, and after seeing him, Victoria dismisses her men and closes the door. On the other hand, Gabby informs Ilya that her uncle has called her to meet again, this time in a more open manner. Ilya notices that her transmitter is not working properly and begins fixing it as it is hidden in her thighs. As he adjusts it, the two grow closer, revealing a subtle emotional connection. At that moment, Napoleon arrives and reminds them that it is time to proceed with the mission.
Uncle Rudy's car has arrived. Are you ready?
After which Gabby leaves. Ilya, now developing feelings for her, quietly follows her. Gabby meets her uncle and confronts him, insisting that she knows her father is alive. During the conversation, her uncle accidentally reveals something suspicious, which Ilya hears through the transmitter. At the same time, Napoleon arrives at Victoria's office. She approaches him in a seductive manner and calls him by his real name, revealing that she knows his true identity. Napoleon quickly realizes that something is wrong and suspects that his drink has been tampered with. It is then revealed that Gabby had orchestrated a plan to reach her father. She manipulated the situation and disclosed information of Napoleon and Ilya to her uncle, who in turn informed Victoria. As a result, Napoleon is captured by Victoria, and the situation spirals out of control.
You leave my father to me.
Put something in my drink.
It's much easier to trust
Mr. Solo.
Couldn't control the loyalty of young Gabby.
He is taken to another location where he is tortured with electric shocks. Meanwhile, Gabby heads toward the location where her father is being held. On the other side, Ilya arrives just in time when Gabby's uncle is about to kill Napoleon and saves him. They then tie Gabby's uncle to the electric chair and start interrogating him. Under pressure, he reveals that the bomb has already been completed and will soon be transported to an island. After learning this, Napoleon and Ilya decide their next move. They argue about whether to keep the uncle alive or eliminate him, but before they can decide, the electric device malfunctions and the uncle dies. Ignoring this, they realize they need a helicopter to reach the island. Meanwhile, Gabby reaches her father and emotionally reunites with him on the island. He apologizes to her for everything. Shortly after, Napoleon and Ilya arrive at the helicopter site. Alexander Waverly, the assistant chief of operations, along with Adrian Sanders, the chief of operations, reveals that the entire mission is part of a long-running undercover operation involving multiple intelligence agencies, including British intelligence, the CIA, and the KGB, all united in their goal of stopping Nazi threats.
Of British naval intelligence for the remainder of the
Title you retrieve, Dr. Teller.
He further explains that Gabby has secretly been working with them as part of this coordinated effort. Waverly states that the deception is intentional, as they trust that Napoleon and Ilya are capable enough to survive and successfully complete the mission. He then emphasizes that the immediate priority is to locate and stop the nuclear bomb and ensure Gabby's safety, as she is now in serious danger. They reach a large ship where Gabby urges her father to disable the bomb, warning that it could destroy the world. Just then, Victoria arrives and takes control of the situation. She forces Gabby's father to continue working and threatens to kill Gabby if he does not comply within an hour. Meanwhile, Napoleon and Ilya manage to fix their equipment and prepare for the final phase of the mission. Gabby's father reveals that the bomb formula is stored in 2 separate discs. When he hands over the formula, he is suddenly shot, and Victoria escapes with the discs. As she flees, chaos erupts. The situation escalates rapidly, and the threat of the nuclear weapon grows more imminent. Napoleon notices Alexander transporting the bomb and immediately alerts Ilya.
Ilya, come in.
Alexander has Gabby and the bomb. They're at the entrance.
Napoleon begins chasing the target by car, while Ilya pursues from another direction. The enemy attempts to escape, and a prolonged cat-and-mouse chase unfolds between them. During the pursuit, Ilya arrives and opens fire, but he manages to counter him. Ilya is thrown off his bike, which falls on top of him. At that moment, Napoleon arrives and tells Gabby to hold on tightly. He then crashes his car into the enemy vehicle, causing both cars to flip over. Napoleon quickly regains control, pulls Gabby out of the wreck, and prepares to act. Suddenly, the enemy attacks Napoleon and is about to shoot him, but Ilya arrives just in time and eliminates him. After regrouping, they begin discussing the situation and realize that the real bomb have already been transported by ship. They try to identify which ship is carrying the nuclear device. Upon inquiry, they learn that nearly 100 ships have departed, making it extremely difficult to locate Victoria's vessel. Napoleon recalls seeing a photograph of the ship in Victoria's office and manages to identify its name. They attempt to confirm its location, but the ship's captain denies Victoria's presence. Thinking strategically, Napoleon devises a plan. He announces on the radio claiming that Victoria's husband, Alexander, has been killed in a painful manner.
So I'll give you this message directly. I killed your husband. Here's begging and offers to trade.
Die slowly and painfully.
Hearing this, she becomes emotional and angry and send answer that he is going to pay for that. In that moment, Napoleon reveals that he has tracked her location and that a missile has been launched toward the ship. He warns her that within seconds she will be killed, although the nuclear device will remain intact. Moments later, the missile strikes, completely destroying the ship along with Victoria and her operation. With the threat eliminated, the agents return to the hotel and begin preparing to leave. Shortly after, Ilya receives a call from his superior, who informs him that one part of the nuclear formula is still missing and is believed to be with Napoleon. He is ordered to eliminate Napoleon and retrieve the formula, as they do not want it to fall into American hands. Ilya, now conflicted, enters Napoleon's room while he is packing. Napoleon immediately senses the tension and prepares himself, while Ilya also reaches for his weapon. At that moment, Napoleon throws Ilya his father's watch, which he had recovered earlier, creating an emotional pause between them. Instead of fighting, they both step outside, where the remaining formula is burned, ensuring that it can never be used again. Alexander Waverly then arrives and praises them for destroying the formula, stating that it will prevent future global conflict. He further explains that he has spoken with both the CIA and KGB leadership, and they have decided to assign Napoleon and Ilya to a new joint mission. This new partnership marks the beginning of a unified organization. With this revelation, everyone is left surprised, and the story comes to an end. Hope so you all enjoyed. Make sure to press the like and subscribe button as it really motivates us to post more. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.